Hey, Yaskov, how are you?
Kenji. What an unexpected pleasure.
May I have it, please?
Have what?
I got it all on film, Yaskov. You don't want to deal with the West Germans. They don't like Russian intelligence, you know that. Just give it to me and we'll forget all about it.
I could make a run for it, you know.
Come on, Yaskov. You running, me chasing you, we'd look like Laurel and Hardy.
Two clowns, huh? You're a good man, Kenji. The best they've got. Wish you were with us.
Thanks, Yaskov. До свидания.
Lufthansa Flight 22, arriving at gate 17. Lufthansa Flug Nummer 22, kommt am Tor 17 an.
Passenger Bernstein, please go to the courtesy phone. Passenger Bernstein.
I didn't expect to be met, Joe. What's the matter? Myers is in a sweat because you let that Russian go. He's talking about the Russians in Cuba again. He's talking about sending you to Cuba. Oh. That's why he got the chopper.
Hi, Wanda.
Good morning. Good morning, Mr.
Connie, how are you? Hi, Edie. Hi, Sherry. Beverly, how are you?
Good morning, Mr. Kendi.
In here, Kendig. Cutter, stay put. I want to see you right after this.
Hi, Myerson. I thought you were taller. I don't remember you being this short. How'd you get so short?
Up yours, Kendig. Where's your report? You haven't filed it.
Just got off the airplane. The job's finished. What's the hurry?
Typical. It's difficult growing up, isn't it? Aren't you just a little senior to be shadowing people around the streets of Munich personally?
I worked on that job for 2 years. I had a right to be in at the finish. You mind if I sit down?
The object, Kendig, was to dismantle the Russian network over there. All you did was nab a few small fry. 3 clerks and a cleaning woman.
And they blew the whistle on the others. We got the whole kit and caboodle. We plugged that leak for good.
What about Yaskov?
What about Yaskov? What did you want me to do, terminate him? Is that the way you did things in your dirty tricks division? You're too new in this section to go jumping to conclusions.
Excuse me.
I never intended to.
Get my wife, please.
Yes, sir.
I never intended to arrest Yask.
Go ahead.
I never intended to arrest you.
Hello, darling. Beverly tells me you called while I was out.
Yes, dear. It's about the Blandfords' dinner party this evening. I wanted to make quite certain you hadn't forgotten.
Oh, no, I haven't forgotten.
You're a good boy.
Thank you.
There's one other thing, the house.
What about the house?
Do we really have to go down there this summer? Do you think perhaps we could do what we did last
If you
year?
don't want to go, we just won't go. It's your decision.
Decisions. Why do I find it so hard to make up my mind?
Excuse me. Excuse me.
Hello?
Don't do that.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes, dear, I can hear you. Now listen. Just call that real estate dame and tell her to rent it out.
Yes, dear. Immediately.
Tell her no kids, no pets, no Democrats.
Yes, dear. Oh, one last thing. The dinner is formal. I called Mrs. Blandford to make certain.
Good. That means I can wear my new tuxedo, doesn't it? Goodbye, darling.
Goodbye, dear.
May I say something now?
We've got a house near Savannah. She won't give it up. Says it's close to her mother. She never wants to use it, though.
I never intended to arrest Yaskov. I wanted him to stay right where he is.
You want it.
Yes, I wanted. I've known the man for 20 years. I know how he thinks. I know how he acts. We take him out. They put another man in. It takes us 6 months to find out who. It takes us another year and a half to learn his style.
There are Russian combat troops 90 miles off our shore. You had the head of the entire KGB for Western Europe in your hand. And you let him go. Now, that's the bottom line, isn't it?
I don't even begin to understand the relevancy of that. It's my station.
It's not your station, it's our station! You should have learned that one a long time ago. You weren't there to make policy. You were there to carry out policy. And we've had your history of making up your own rules under review for some time now. We're reassigning you, Kendig. You're going to sweat out your time until pension, running the filing section, right here.
Come on, Meyerson. I'm a field man. I've always been a field man.
The good news is I'm putting your friend Joe Cutter in your place.
Joe Cutter's a very good man.
Yes, he is, and he's 20 years younger than you are.
21. I don't know what's bugging you, Meyerson. I think you're overreacting. I don't believe you're this upset because of that Russian in Munich.
Damn it, I hate a man who doesn't know when the party is over. You will get that report together, won't you? And you can file it yourself Monday morning.
Is this some kind of a joke, Meyerson?
Come in, Cutter.
Congratulations, Joe. You just got yourself a new job. How you doing, Alex?
Fine, Kendig.
Did you have the Redskins last Sunday?
You bet I did.
Good. I'm gonna look at the Kimberg file.
Yeah, you know where it's at.
Okay, Alex. Just stick with us this Sunday. We're gonna slaughter the Cowboys.
I'm with you.
Mr. Meyerson? He's still not in his office. He hasn't checked in for 2 days, sir.
Anything else?
His apartment phone doesn't answer, but before he left here, he put in a call to Salzburg, Austria.
Check it out.
Yes, sir.
Excuse me. I see you're looking at the wine list.
Yes, I am.
May I perhaps suggest a wine?
That would be nice.
May I sit down, please?
Yes, please do.
What wine do you feel like drinking?
I'm not sure. Just a good wine.
What wine do you prefer? Red wine, white, French, German?
I don't know. What's good for this time of the day?
That would depend on what you're thinking of eating.
Well, frankly, I hadn't quite made a decision as to my meal. Is wine that important?
Very important. You prefer young wine or one slightly older?
Oh, slightly older.
As a general rule, the older wines are better. You see, it takes time for the elements in wine to resolve themselves into an harmonious whole. It takes time and oxygen.
Are you serious?
Deadly serious. Wine is not a disembodied essence. It is the product of skill, knowledge, and in many cases, love.
Are you a wine salesperson?
No, I am an ordinary person living quietly on the generous endowments left me by my dear departed husband.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Thank you.
Certainly know a lot about wines.
You're American.
Yes?
Americans hold many myths about wine. You are all interested in fitness, in general health. You think wine is bad for your liver and your heart. This is completely not true. It is the drinking of wine that makes it possible to eat the rich food which is bad for your liver and your heart, because wine cuts grease. A sip of wine leaves your mouth completely clean and ready for the next bite of whatever it is you're eating. Oh, where have you been, you old goat? You bastard, I thought I'd never see you again.
Please watch your language. You know how sensitive I am.
Come home with me. I'll give you lunch. This is a terrible place to eat.
Does he bite?
Oh, only people he doesn't like.
Oh, I only bite people I like. Hey, it's nice. How many hectares do you have?
2.
Hi. Ah, very nice indeed.
Thank you. There's more.
Hey, magnificent. You have help?
1 small Austrian lady 3 times a week. And 1 large Austrian lady 4 times a week.
What's for lunch?
What would you like?
You have any sausage?
Wurst, ja. I have Bratwurst, Leberwurst, Weißwurst, Blutwurst.
How about some ham and eggs and a beer?
Kitchen's downstairs.
Where do you keep the beer, please?
Middle shelf.
You miss the old life?
No, game got too dirty.
You still take gin and ginger ale?
Mine was never gin and ginger ale. Montrachet 69, please, next to the beer. When I first worked for the agency, yes, you seemed clear. You knew where you stood. The bad guys wore moustaches.
Where's the opener?
On the tray in front of you. Now, you need a scorecard to know who the players are. Even then, it's fuzzy.
Where are the glasses?
On the table in front of you. I'm glad I'm out.
I'm out, too.
What?
I quit, but they don't know it yet.
I can't imagine you without the agency. It's your whole life.
They put Myerson in charge of my section. He wanted to retire me behind a desk.
See you next Tuesday, Myerson. They've gone mad.
Got tapes on everybody locked away. They're scared to death of him.
What are you going to do?
I don't know. I'm working on it.
Did you come to Salzburg to see me?
You and Mozart.
Do they still keep tabs on me in Washington?
Well, we knew you married some old Nazi.
Oh, come on, Kendig. He was Austrian.
So was Hitler.
Yes, but he had no sense of humor. Do I pass inspection?
You do. It's so sweet and delicious.
What do you really want, Somewhere to hide while you decide what you're going to do. Succor and solace and a shoulder to cry on.
Sounds pretty good to me.
How'd you like to play some gin rummy this evening?
Well, how much?
How much can you afford to lose? That's the second 4 you've given me. Gin. Aha, it's gin.
33.
Aha! Blitzed and double blitzed.
What do you do with yourself around here anyway?
Look after my late husband's business interests. I keep myself occupied.
Want to tell me about him?
No.
Good.
4. 5. You owe me.
Shh.
You still owe me $135.62.
Want to take it out and trade?
What do you have that's worth that much?
Like antiques?
Come to bed.
I thought you'd never ask.
I hear you walked out with your friends.
You here, or is this a trial balloon?
Did they force you out because you did not arrest me?
Right.
I feel a bit guilty about that. I'd like to make amends.
How?
I'm offering to put you right back into the game.
Yaskov, I'd make a useless double agent.
Of course you would. Double agents must be drab little people. Colorless. No, that would never do for you. Listen, I want to run you in the field as my own agent. We'd make it worth your while, of course. There is plenty of money.
No. Money is too expensive to be earned that way, Yaskov.
Look, the human species has been on this planet for millions of years. Except for the tiniest fraction of the time, we all lived as hunters. Hunting is the only natural way of life. It was your way of life until you walked away from it. I'm offering to return it to you. By the way, we are being photographed.
Yours or mine?
Yours. I recognize the mustache.
Oh, let's follow it. He's an idiot. Probably no film in the camera.
Could you be rejecting my offer out of some absurd loyalty to the flag?
You may as well give up, Tovarish. Yet interested.
A pity. What you intend to do with the rest of your life, then? Write your memoirs?
Memoirs? It's not a bad idea. Have you got a typewriter?
In the den. What are you going to do, write some letters?
No, I'm going to write my memoirs.
Oh, that's nice. Your childhood in the ghetto?
My last 30 years in the ghetto.
Uh-huh. You're going to relate some amusing incidents.
And some not so amusing. Would you put on a record, please?
What are you going to write about?
I'm going to tell the truth.
Oh, it's a work of fiction. Ah, oh, well, you didn't say that, did you? You didn't make that clear.
What? What's the matter?
insane. They will obliterate you in 5 minutes.
It'll shake them up.
Shake them up. They will send men who will come and kill you.
I'll keep one step ahead of them. That's enough. Well, almost enough. I need your help.
Oh, no. No, I'm very sorry, no. I have a nice life, a beautiful house, enough money, the respect of the community. Don't look at me like that, no. What do you want me to do?
Find me a copying machine. Get me a stack of 9 by 12 manila mailing envelopes.
We are both mad. Mad, gone.
I thought perhaps you could shed some light on this. I know Kindig's a friend of yours, Cutter, but what the fuck is he doing drinking vodka with Yaskov? Yaskov is the enemy, isn't he?
I don't think this is anything to worry about. They've known each other for years. He and Yaskov used to exchange people at Checkpoint Charlie. There's nothing sinister about it.
In Munich, he turned him loose, and now he's having a drink with him?
Better have a look at this.
Kindig M. Nothing sinister, huh? Why has he tampered with his file?
I don't think this means a thing. Probably shouldn't have done it, but it's typical of him. Doesn't want to be a number in anybody's computer.
Bullshit. He's up to something. It's your job to find out what it is.
You like opera?
Yeah, you?
Yeah. Was ist das?
Barber of Seville, Figaro.
Oh, by Mozart.
No, that's the other Figaro.
Huh?
That's the Hochzeit des Figaro.
Oh, I see.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Hello!
Ja, bitte.
Flugpost, bitte.
Paris, Peking, Moskau, Rom, London und Washington, D.C.
He must be out of his fucking mind. Subjects to be covered in future chapters will be: how much did the Department of Dirty Tricks have to do with the plane crash which killed Secretary Hammarskjöld? CIA future plans for clandestine operations. My God, he sent copies to Moscow, Peking, London, Paris, Bonn, and Rome. Do you know he can blow every operation we've set up for 2 years?
He can make some waves if he goes through with it.
I don't think it's funny, Joe.
Of course it's funny, Leonard.
He's out of his fucking mind. Where is he?
Well, that was mailed from Salzburg. But Follett says that a guy that looked like him crossed over into Switzerland a couple of days ago singing The Barber of Seville. Sounds like Kendick hoping we'll chase him.
Well, let's tell Follett to quit playing with himself and find the poor son of a bitch.
Sit down. Voilà. 3 passports, blank, 3 driving licenses blank, and a credit card.
James Butler.
There is no such a thing as a blank credit card. You know that.
Well, these look okay. Everything except the price you quoted on the telephone.
5,000 francs for the passports, 2,000 for the licenses, and for the credit cards, 500. They're not hot. The numbers have been changed.
My department's on a budget, you know.
Maybe. So am I. How many years have I been working for your agency, huh? Am I not always reliable? Don't I deserve any consideration?
6,000 for the package, that's it.
Oh, impossible.
Impossible. Tell you what. Give you 7,000, leave me with 500, will you?
For what?
For what? Cherchez la femme, a sandwich or something?
I don't think he'll publish it. He's sending copies to the intelligence people, not to publishers.
It's his fucking suicide note. The bastard wants to go down in flames, and he wants us to put him out of his misery.
He's not the suicidal type. You put him on the bench, he's putting himself back in the game. That's what it's all about.
The game is over.
Listen, this is just a teaser. This is just one chapter. Suppose we don't take the bait. If we don't play, he'll probably have to quit. It's no fun playing by yourself.
I've got a meeting with the Security Council. Walk me out. I don't think you understand. On this play, we have got to take him out, because if we don't, they will. The Soviets will read that teaser and realize how much information he's got in his pointed little head. They'll drop everything in a rush to grab him alive and squeeze him. Now, we can't afford that, can we? I want you on this full time as of right now. Anything you need, you ask for it. Top priority. I want you to cancel his ticket.
We don't have to do that. Let me try and stop him.
You're an overtime cutter.
7 the player. The bank loses this time 6-7. And issue passes for a new bank. Thank you. Place your bets, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Good night.
Night.
Would you like smoking or non-smoking?
Oh, non-smoking, please. But make it an aisle seat, because I go to the bathroom a lot.
Okay, fine. Have you traveled Concord before?
No, not to the best of my recollection. I understand you get there before you leave.
Yes, that's right. There you are, sir. Thank you very much. Have a pleasant flight.
Okay. We know he's traveling under the name of James Butler.
For the time being.
We know he left the Grand Hotel in Marseille, took an Air France to Heathrow. We know he won 10,000 pounds at the Grosvenor Casino, and we're assuming that he's still in London.
You got a nail file?
I'd like to have a look at his travel vouchers for the last year or two. Might be something in there, some pattern of movement.
You won't find anything consistent on him. His checks keep bouncing because his signature varies. He's a class act.
You like the guy, don't you?
Yes, I like him. Let's get something to eat.
I'll get it. $762. No, this is Leonard Ross. Who's calling?
Start a trace. Kendick, what a pleasant surprise.
Joe Cutter. Well, I'm certainly glad they put in the first team.
Thank you.
I mailed out another chapter this morning. If you're collecting stamps, it's postmarked London.
What are you trying to prove?
I'm not trying to prove anything, Joe. I'm just trying to have some fun.
Suppose you let me talk you out of this before you find yourself at the bottom of some river, sipping sewage.
I'll be mailing it out one chapter at a time. Be more interesting that way. You can tell Meyerson that I'm saving the juicy stuff for the end.
Listen, Kendick, I'm the one who's going to have to do the dirty work. I don't want that. Think of me, can't you? Don't you have any feelings for me at all? I'm going to be tortured by this for the rest of my life. All my money will go to a psychiatrist.
That's very good, Joe. Very dramatic. I've never heard that used before. Well, I think you've had time to locate this call by now, kid, so I'll be saying so long. I'll see you around sometime.
Kendick, are you there?
Did you get a line on that? Are you sure? That son of a bitch. She's right here in Washington. It's a local call.
Anything?
Nothing. He's probably halfway to the moon by now.
All right, don't sound so pleased about it.
I've got everyone who knows him by sight working the streets.
Good work, Leonard.
Well, what would you suggest? We just go back and wait for the phone to ring again?
I don't think he's going to call again. He said what he has to say.
Excuse me, sir. We found this under B in the phone book.
I think we can say goodbye to James Butler.
Is everything okay?
Yeah, thanks.
More coffee?
No, thank you. Hello, operator. I'd like to make a Bill 2 call to overseas, please.
Hello?
Hi, Iz.
Right on time. How are you? Did you have a safe trip?
Yes. I said hello to the folks. They were surprised to hear from me. Have any of them paid you a visit?
Only friend Follett the Fageler. He's watching me right now.
Give him a kiss for me and tell him I'll write.
I'm sure he'd be very interested to hear from you.
Now, you remember when and where I'm going to call you next.
Of course I remember. And you remember to be careful. And if you should happen to see Kendig, tell the horny old goat I miss him very much and love him. Goodbye, Mr.
Hannaway. Charlie Hannaway. And I love you very much, too.
Excuse me, Mr. Schoenberg?
Yes?
Can I see you for a moment? It's about Miles Kendig.
I thought it might be.
Not exactly friendly, is he?
Well, he likes the people I like.
I see. You haven't by any chance just been talking to him, have you?
Regretfully, no.
Oh, that's too bad. You see, it's important that we reach him fast. It's about his family. There's been an accident.
Oh, how dreadful. Not a tragic accident, I hope.
Yes, I'm afraid so. His mother.
That's more of a miracle than a tragedy.
What?
His mother died 25 years ago. August the 13th. I believe it was a Friday.
All right, Mrs. Schoenberg. Where is he?
My name is von Schönenberg. I am an Austrian citizen with a valid passport. You have no right to question or detain me without authority. My dog is very highly strung and has been known to attack. I suggest you leave me alone.
Don't be too clever, Mrs. von Schönenberg. We're going to stop him.
Won't you have to find him first? Oh, do stop following me around. You're making my dog very nervous. He detests the smell of stupidity.
You know me, I cross every T and dot every I.
Is it someone who was recommended to you?
Well, no, but I'm sure it's quite all right. He's putting down a rather large cash deposit, and he looks very reliable.
Well, I'm trusting your judgment.
Well, thank you, Mrs. Myerson. I'm sure it'll be all right. Lovely woman. Very particular. You're not a Democrat, are you?
No, ma'am. Oh.
Can you hear me?
Yes, Mrs. Myerson, and I'm sure Mr. Hannaway is going to enjoy your gracious home. Now, you just take care of yourself, honey, huh? Well, that's settled. Now all you have to do is sign the papers, pay over that nasty old money.
Pretty hot out there, isn't it?
Yes, it is 15 degrees warmer than usual for this time of year.
Is that a fact?
Yes. Now here's the inventory. Now you must promise to be extra careful with the Myosins affairs.
Oh, I will. I certainly will, ma'am. Where do I sign?
Right here. Ah, such peace and quiet. They say it is the coolest spot on the island. Should be a wonderful place to rest up after your operation. What did you say it was for?
Prostate.
Oh, of course. Well, you know, Mr. Hanaway, my husband had it done 2 years ago.
Is that right?
Yes. And I want to tell you, it didn't make any difference. I mean, we went on a second honeymoon.
Oh, that's nice.
Now, Mr. Hanaway, honey, you take care of yourself, you hear?
Yes, ma'am.
Chapter 2, huh?
It's embarrassing. Whose bright idea was it to send the box of poison cigars to Castro?
Is he still sending copies to Yaskoff and everybody?
Everybody. Why can't we find him?
Well, I told you it wasn't going to be easy.
Ridiculous attempt to assassinate Papa Doc Duvalier by bombing the presidential palace. God damn it, son of a bitch. It's a personal vendetta against me.
Well, if the shoe fits.
Do you know which side you're on?
I'm working here, aren't I? And I was trained by one of the best men in the business. We've got leads. We know he got rid of that car in Virginia. A guy answering his description picked up an old clunker in South Carolina. We got the license plate numbers. One thing leads to another. We'll get him.
Morning, Mr. Myerson, you short person. I tell you something, Myerson, the more I dig into this, the more disgusting it gets. It'd be nice to think that you had a few second thoughts now and then, but there's no chance of that, is there? You probably see yourself as an innocent bystander, betrayed. As I look at this thing now, I can't believe I was ever part of it. Tell you something, I wouldn't go back now for any amount of money.
Sorry, sir. Mr. Maddox says he's busy just now.
Oh, okay. Would you get me another beer, please?
Sure enough. Are you finished?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hi there. Is Leroy Maddox in?
Yes, may I help
Oh,
you?
good. Well, I know the way. That's all right.
But you can't go in there, sir.
Honey, what's your name?
My name is Sarah.
Sarah. You new here, are you?
Yes, I am.
Oh, yeah, well, I know, Mr. Maddox, a long
But you can't go in there. Can't go in there,
right.
sir.
May I help you, friend?
Name is Jim Murdison out of Dallas. Expect you don't remember me, but I was up here a little while back with old Jim Bob Fredericks of Houston.
Ah, Mr. Murdison. Any friend of old Jim Bob's? Sit yourself down. Tell me what I can do for you.
Well, old Jim Bob said that if I ever needed a little special help, I should look you up.
Well, I'd be mighty pleased to help you. What kind of things do you have in mind? Oh, you can drop the accent. It's terrible.
Okay. I'd like to charter a seaplane.
Well, now, I'm not exactly in the airplane business. How soon would you be needing it?
A week from Friday. Can I have my clip back, please?
Oh, sure. I do happen to know a charter pilot who is, discreet. I tell you what, Mr. Murdison, you give me a call back on Tuesday night, okay?
Okay. And, by the way, my name is not Murdison.
I didn't think it was, Mr. Murdison.
How y'all doing now?
Pretty good.
You having any trouble?
No, sir. Works just like you drew it. Balance is real good, even when she's full. What'd you say you was gonna use her for?
Oh, we just got some driveways we're working on.
Driveways?
Yeah, you know, driveways.
Oh, driveways. Well, that's a real good idea. Sure if it does a trick for you, Miss Chandaway.
$450.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
Goodbye, sir.
Bye.
Bye.
You Murdison?
Yeah.
Carla Fleming, I fly a seaplane. I understand you're looking for one. Should we sit down? When and where do you want to fly?
This Friday. A young lady and I. Or is it a young lady and me?
I.
Do you know where Coffee Bluff is?
Uh-huh.
Okay, you pick us up there, and you fly us to Martinique. Has your plane got the range for it?
Mm-hmm. It's a Lake Buccaneer. Now, it's not going to be cheap, Mr. Murdison, since I don't know what we're carrying.
Well, I told you, a young lady. I mean, I'm not smuggling.
I hear you saying it. I don't want to know either way. $3,000.
I just want to charter it. I don't want to buy it.
Listen, I'm sure you could get a better price from one of the airlines. I think the regular fare is about $150.
Okay. I'll give you the money right before we take off. Just as soon as possible after dawn this Friday. You got it?
I'll be there.
Okay.
Now you can buy me a scotch and soda.
Scotch and soda for the lady. attention, Shorty. I'd like to make a call to Salzburg, Austria, please.
Hello?
Hello, Iz?
Kendig? What the hell are you doing? Don't you know this damn phone is tapped?
Watch the profanity, please. I've been missing you, thinking about you, and I had this sudden urge.
Are you drunk?
It's
There are 212 tape recorders on this line.
It'll take 94 seconds for them to trace the call. Is Follett still harassing you?
It's harassing, dear. Harassing. He's trying, but he's afraid of the dog. I haven't seen him for a few days. He must be off somewhere with his nose to the ground.
Who, the dog?
No, dear. Follett. Are you keeping this line open until he can pinpoint you?
Follett couldn't pinpoint his own backside in broad daylight.
We'll see about that. Hurry up, damn it.
You do know what you're doing, don't you?
Certainly not.
How's the book coming? Is it finished?
All but the last chapter. You know, that's the stuff with the dynamite in it. I'm just at the bit about Follett when he got caught with his pants down writing obscenities on the men's room wall.
Was he alone?
Very funny, very funny. Come on.
State of Georgia, sir. They're working on the exchange.
Jeez. Tell him to hurry it up.
Not to be gruesome, old darling, but I hope you've written out your will.
Yes, I've left everything to the Flat Earth Society. But don't worry about it. I'm forwarded up here with plenty of firepower. No, sir, they'll never take me alive. I'm armed to the teeth.
Good grief. Haven't you got it yet?
Any second now, sir.
I'll call you again. You know the time and place.
I do.
Jeez.
Bye, darling.
Bye, darling.
Telephone number, area code 311-555-1285, Maple Road, Adairsville, Georgia.
Get the agency.
What? Repeat that. I don't fucking believe it! Excuse me, Beverly. Mr. Kindig has rented out my house. Would you get Mr. Cutter in here right away, please? He's actually had the balls to hide out in my house.
There's a house on the edge of a marsh about 5 minutes from here.
I know where it is. Is it covered?
We got a couple boys across the road. You want to alert him?
Alert him. He already knows we're coming.
Just one thing, Mr. Meyerson. This is our jurisdiction, not yours. It's an FBI case now. I run the show, right?
I want one of my men in each of these cars.
Jerry, you take the back and the far side. Bobby, you take this side. I'll take the front. Bring me the bullhorn and the gas.
Kendig, this is the FBI. We've got you surrounded. Throw out your guns and come out with your hands over your head. You've got 60 seconds before we use tear gas.
I hope your guys aren't trigger happy. It'd be a shame to damage this house.
We don't shoot first, but if he tries to blast his way out...
With what? He hasn't carried a gun for years.
That's not what I was told. Forted up with plenty of firepower, armed to the teeth. What secrets did he steal?
It's on a need-to-know basis, a matter of national security.
Yeah, that's a phrase that's lost a good deal of meaning lately.
You've got 20 seconds, Kendig.
Give him the gas.
Do that one more time, Kendig, and we'll blow you to pieces.
Let him have it.
Freeze! Keep your hands down. Nice shooting, Ross. 8,000 pains and you hit one of them.
What's happening? They're shooting up your house. Stop it! Stop it! Cease fire! Fucking idiots! Stop it! Stop it! Get down, you idiot! You want to get yourself killed? This is a mistake!
In you go, Ross. Am I driving?
Move over the other side. Come on, move it.
That's enough. That's enough! You're destroying my house!
Give it one more. Okay, boys, cease fire. As soon as the smoke clears, we'll go in and take a look.
I don't believe this. I don't fucking believe this.
Talk about playing into his
Shut
head.
up. Just shut the fuck up.
There's a guy pulling out of here in a pickup with one of the CIA men.
Ross!
That's him! Back to the cars. I'll call the fire department.
Son of a bitch.
Mike, stay here.
Let's go. Now I know what FBI stands for. Fucking ball-busting imbeciles.
Okay, Ross. This is where you get off.
You used to be a pretty good man. I really looked up to you. What happened?
Get out. Just came to my senses, that's all.
How do you figure that?
A few skunks in the agency that needed flushing out. Close the door. Back off.
You're just making a fool of yourself, Kendig. You don't have a chance.
Oh, yeah? Don't bet on that, Ross. So long, kid.
Good morning.
Hi, kid.
Hi. You alone?
Yeah.
Where's your lady friend?
Her mother wouldn't let her come.
Okay, let's get going. One passenger or two, the price is still the same.
Oh, that's a relief. 3,000 bucks. There we go.
Thank you. Next stop, Martinique.
How about a change of course? 092 magnetic.
Bermuda?
Why not?
Okay, by me, that'll take about 7 hours. We haven't got a bathroom. Can you make it?
I'll be very careful.
What did you do, rob a bank? Is that what's in the suitcase?
Oh, yes.
Gee, never drove a getaway car before. It's kind of fun.
You mind if I steer a while?
You know how?
Yeah, they trained me as a ferry pilot from Mats. Still got my license.
Sure. Who's they?
Guys with little plastic ID cards. They'll probably come around and ask you a lot of questions. Just tell them the truth.
I generally tell the truth. It's easier that way.
Are you going back tonight?
Oh, no way. I'm going to get my hair done and get a good night's sleep.
Well, you certainly got enough money for it.
Just about. So long. Take care of yourself, whatever you're doing. You seem like a nice fella. You remind me of my father.
That's always been my problem.
Here's your tea, dear, nice and hot with lemon, just the way you like it.
I don't like lemon. I like milk.
Now, is there anything else that I can get for you boys? Well, don't work Mr. Cutter too hard. After all, it is Sunday. I'm sure he needs his rest. Now, if you need me, I'll be in the sewing room.
Should have terminated her 20 years ago. Joe, maybe we've been going about this the wrong way. Perhaps it needs a lighter touch. You know, sometimes bullying people doesn't work. Let's be sophisticated here. Maybe we can use a carrot instead of a stick. Kendig likes girls, doesn't he?
Listen, Myers, let me make a suggestion. Why don't I go over to Salzburg and have a little talk with Isabel? We worked together once. Maybe she'll listen to what I have to say.
Have you got something going on with Isabel, too?
We're always one step behind them. I'd like to get one step ahead of the arrogant son of a bitch.
I thought you liked the arrogant son of a bitch.
Welcome to London, Mr. Ross. Business or pleasure?
Oh, yes.
I beg your pardon.
Oh, a little of both. I'm here to see my publisher. I'm writing a book.
How long do you plan to stay?
That depends. I'm waiting for some colleagues to catch up with me.
Enjoy your visit.
Thank you.
What's the name of the book?
Hopscotch.
Good title.
Glenn. How you doing? Supposed to see us. To see you, but you won't get anywhere. I've already tried.
Well, maybe she'll be more accessible to me. I'm an old friend of hers.
Hopscotch's in town. He wants to see you.
That's good. I'd like that. Set a time and place for this afternoon.
You're looking very tired, Joe.
It's the jet lag. I can't get used to it.
You sure that's all it is?
Now listen, Isabel. We're both fond of this character, but he's making an ass of himself, and he's got to cut it out. For his own good.
For his own good. You've been trying to stop him, and I gather not having too much success. Such a shame. All those bright young men, and there he is, single-handedly running rings around you all.
He's very good. He's as good as they come. And he is running rings around us, and I'm his biggest fan. But Kendick is going to make a mistake. Sooner or later, he's bound to slip. After all, he's only human.
Oh, he's extremely human.
It's not funny, Isabel. We're not the only people looking for him. You must know that. And if the Russians get to him before we do...
You mean Meyerson's methods of termination are more humane than the Russians?
You know what I mean. I don't want to hurt him, Isabel. But I have a job to do, and I'm going to do it. He's got to stop that book right now. He's had his fun. He's made a fool out of everyone. Now he has to stop. He has to stop if he's going to stay alive. Will you tell him?
Oh, I'll tell him. I don't think he'll stop. You've forgotten your beer.
Hi. I'm looking for Mr. Ludlow.
Ah, you mean Mr. Ludlam. You'll find him in his office up there, Gov.
Thank you. Mr. Ludlam.
Yes, sir.
I understand you have a little old airplane for sale. I'm Ross. I called you this morning.
Yes, sir. Yes. You'd like to take a little look, would you?
Yeah, please.
She's a stomp, sir.
Oh, the Belgian version of the old Tiger Moth.
Yes, indeed. You know your aircraft, sir. She trained a lot of good fighter pilots in her day.
How many hours on the engine?
118 since the last overhaul.
180?
18, sir. 1-8. And she's generally in very good shape.
How much are you asking?
Well, you'll need to have a look at the logs and certifications, won't you? So let's nip back to the office and see what we can do.
Okay.
Look at Yaskov. He must have seen Casablanca 12 times. You better wait here.
I know where he is.
Who's that, comrade?
May I suggest we pool our information? If I tell you the city, you will know how to find him in that city, yes?
A new wrinkle on détente.
That manuscript is an embarrassment to us all.
If you catch him, your people will squeeze him. We're not crazy about that idea.
At the moment, we feel it is more important he be neutralized. He knows too much about our side, as well as yours. Well?
Sorry.
Very well. He is back in London. He flew there from Bermuda 2 days ago. He's traveling under the name of Leonard Ross.
That figures.
I'd like to be able to tell you that we found him through brilliant detective work, but in actual fact, one of my men just happened to recognize him at Heathrow Airport. I will want a quid pro quo one day, my good friend.
I bet you will.
See you in London.
Well,
He's in London.
he gave you that for free?
Of course not. Nothing's free with that old fox. But it does tell us one thing.
The Russians are just as nervous as we are.
You're learning. By the way, he's traveling on your passport.
Cheaper, too.
Entschuldigen Sie mich bitte. Können Sie Deutsch sprechen?
No, I'm sorry. Sorry?
Parlez-vous français, monsieur?
No, this... If you speak French or German, either of you.
Does Alfie Booker still work here?
Yeah, he's out the back.
May I speak to him for a moment, please?
Sure, help yourself.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll take this one myself. Yeah, I like that.
Alfred P. Booker.
Mr. Kendig, hey, it's good to see you.
Hey.
It's been 2 years.
You lost a little weight, didn't you?
Yeah. Hey, how'd that transistor job go for you?
The transistor. Oh, they never even knew it was there. Not a clue. I have something a little more difficult for you this time. Here, come on. Here, here. Tell me how practical you think that is.
Where are we staying?
The Hilton.
Good.
And I set up a meeting for this afternoon with British intelligence. Yeah, well, there's no problem with the electronic stuff. That's dead easy. But it's the mechanics I'm not sure about. Servo motors, some sort of hydraulic transfer. Look, there is a chap I know in the Navy used to know all about this sort of stuff. Do you want me to get hold of him and see if he can help us?
How long do you think it'll take?
Well, give me a ring tonight. I'll know by then if I can get hold of him. And if I can, I'll go down to the field tomorrow morning. Could have it installed for you by nightfall. How's that sound?
All right, I'll call you. Just give me your home phone number, if you please.
Yeah.
You understand, Sir Giles, this requires a certain delicacy on all our parts.
Yes, I'm sure it must be terribly embarrassing for all of you. Of course, we in England would never allow ourselves to get into such a ridiculous predicament.
You see, what we need is...
Yes, I know. But it's quite fascinating, isn't it? The part where, I think it's chapter 3, the bit about Somoza, Nicaragua. Your Kendig's got quite a sense of humor.
Sir Giles, we would appreciate it if we could move forward with this.
Technically, it's not our problem, is it? It's broken no laws in Britain. But of course, hands across the sea and all that, we'll be happy to cooperate. Now, what exactly would you like to have us do?
Manpower. We'd like you to put a lot of people on the ports of exit. Airlines, terminals, that stuff.
Ah. Well, that does seem to be rather fruitless. We don't really know what he looks like.
We do have this, sir.
Ah, thank you. Oh, which one is it? Well, that's Yaskov. What's he doing with Yaskov?
That's part of our problem.
The main thing is...
Well, I'll have a word with the police. We'll circulate copies of this to all ports of exit.
The main thing is he's come to England for a reason. He didn't just pick it out of a hat. Now, we think he's here to find a publisher. There can only be so many publishers in London.
Or a dozen or so major houses, perhaps 30 or 40 small presses.
He wants to make a big noise, so he'd go to a big house. But I think that's what he'll think we're thinking, so I think he'll go to a small one.
All right. I've got friends in some of the publishing firms. I'll get in touch and let you know what I learn. Where are you staying?
The Hilton.
Yes, of course. Well, I'll ring the Hilton the instant we've got anything of interest. Goodbye, Mr. Myers.
Yes, can I help you?
Can you call Salisbury, Austria for me, please?
Yes, of course. If you'd like to sit down, I'll tell you as soon as we get through.
Thank you.
The feathers in what?
The feather's in.
The feathers in. Sorry.
Don't you remember, darling?
Of course I remember, darling.
Why don't you go get some lunch? I'll take over.
Yeah, all right. Thanks.
Ah, Mr. Follett. Come in.
Thank you. What did you want to see me about?
Won't you sit down? I wanted to see you, A, because I'm tired of being watched 24 hours a day and feel that you and I could come to some more civilized arrangement, and B, I have just been speaking on the telephone with Kendig.
Where was he calling from?
He didn't say. He did say, however, he feels that this has now become a ridiculous charade, that we should all stop playing.
We'd be delighted to stop playing.
Would you like a drink?
Thank you. A little whiskey, maybe.
Good. Kendig would like to speak to you because he's too emotionally involved with the others. He said he would telephone about 1:30, which is, in 15 minutes. I said I felt sure you would be here to take the call. No ice. Excuse me.
Oh, no, that's, fine.
Oh, please. An American without ice in his drink is unthinkable, if not unconstitutional.
Nice boy. Good boy. Nice dog. Stay. Stay. Good boy. Stupid animal.
It's absolute dynamite. It could be our biggest book of the year. Though, I still want to see the last chapter, of course.
I happen to have it right in my pocket. Finished it this morning.
Splendid. I'm sure I shan't be disappointed.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Mr. Westlake probably won't see me again. I've given someone a power of attorney to get in touch with you regarding contracts and payments.
Under the circumstances, your absence will probably be our best publicity. You're at considerable risk, aren't you?
Well, if you publish this, you're going to be taking a risk yourself.
We've dealt with controversy before. Spice of life.
These fellas don't play by the Marquis of Queen. It is Marquis.
Yes, Marquis.
Marquis of Queensberry rules, you know.
Well, I certainly hope not. Not half so much fun.
You wait here.
Mr. Westlake, I'm terribly sorry. These gentlemen...
About the Kendig manuscript.
Oh, that's all right, dear. I've been looking forward to this.
Good. Glad you're not going to try one of those I don't know what you're talking about stories on us.
My name is Parker Westlake.
The point is...
What's yours?
What?
What are your names?
Smith and Jones.
From my reading of the manuscript, you have to be Meyerson. Are you Joe Cutter by any chance? I'm glad to meet you. Now, please, why don't we sit down and reason this thing together?
Why don't you give us the manuscript? You can't publish it.
I think you're wrong about that.
Tell him, Joe.
I'm afraid he's right. Don't like to make threats. They sound foolish in the daylight.
But I'm to infer that if I don't give you the manuscript, you'll creep in here one dark night and take it. Or is it more along the lines of, if you don't cooperate with us, we'll set off bombs in your offices?
You said it. We didn't.
Gentlemen, let me tell you something. I think this is one of the most exciting literary properties I've seen in a long time. It simply isn't possible for you to suppress it. Let me caution you. I've run off copies of the manuscript and had them put in safe places. So, even if I suffer an unfortunate accident, the process of publication will continue. Naturally, we don't intend to use our usual printing house. so no one will know where the book is until it's far too late to stop its distribution to the bookshops. I think your friend Kendig has you well and truly by the short hairs.
If you publish that book, you're signing his death warrant.
There's only one man that can stop the publication of that book, and that's Kendig himself. Why don't you talk to him about it?
We can't find the bastard.
Fine. My dear fellow, where's the difficulty in that? He's staying right here in London, at the Windsor Hotel.
What?
The Windsor Hotel, Lancaster Gate, just north of the park.
Thank you.
Room 416. Apparently, he's expecting us.
We'll take the stairs.
How'd you get here?
Telephoned my embassy.
He's very democratic, isn't he?
Yes, isn't he? I do like him, you know. One can't help it.
Come on, he's not going to shoot you. Kendig?
Close the door. So he's expecting us, huh?
Hello, boys. Thanks for coming. Why don't you sit down, make yourselves comfortable? Joe, give everyone a drink, will you? Whiskey is right there next to the tape recorder, and there's some ice if it hasn't melted by this time. Sorry there's no vodka, Yaskov. I simply forgot it. Myerson, couldn't find any bourbon and Coke. I suppose you're wondering where I am. Well, we know I'm not about to try the airports, the boat trains, and the liners in Southampton, the trains to Scotland, and the ferry boats to Ireland. Did you think of Ireland, Joe, or did you slip up on that one?
We thought of it.
Well, I'll give you a clue as to my whereabouts later on. In the meanwhile, the reason I asked you all to come up here is because I want you to pick up a copy of my last chapter. It's sitting on top of the chest of drawers right next to the recorder. That's all. Why don't you take it home and read it? Enjoy yourselves. Have a good time. Thanks very much for coming, and good night.
Shit. Good night.
Good night. Good night, Joe.
Yep.
Good grief, Joe, you look terrible.
Well, you've been keeping me up past my regular bedtime.
Chair, please. Meyerson thrown in the towel yet?
He wants to see you dead.
Oh, it doesn't make any difference whether I'm dead or alive, Joe. He's all washed up now, doesn't he know that? Lean forward, please. Hands behind your back. How come he hasn't quit yet?
Well, he's a little bit like you. He won't quit till he gets even.
Should be even by now. He tried to emasculate me, and I retaliated.
What's your game plan now?
There isn't any. Game's over. It's all finished. I've had my fun.
It's too late for that. I've got my orders.
Ah, I understand, Joe. You'll never see me again after tonight.
I'll find you.
Did you pick up my last chapter?
Yes, I did, and I think you went a little bit too far.
Oh, I don't think so.
You know, I don't understand you. It's not like you to paint yourself into a corner. But I don't see where you've got any back door.
You're my back door, Joe.
I can't do you any favors.
Sure you can. You already did.
I did?
You know I'd never use this. You didn't do anything about it. You're gonna have to put a gag in your mouth, Joe. Cleaning lady will turn you loose in the morning.
I hope she's pretty.
Open your mouth. You can call your crowd off the airport. I've got a little plane on the coast near Beachy Head. I'll be taking off first thing in the morning across the channel. No bullets. I'm proud of you, Joe.
Yeah. Hello?
Joe Cutter is tied to a chair in his room. You'd better cut him loose.
What? Who is this?
This is Eleanor Roosevelt.
What? Who is... Hello?
Hello?
Hello, Iz. Did you make it?
No, I didn't make it. This is a recording of a person asleep. How are you?
Right on schedule. As of now, the clock is running.
Well, where is it running?
The pond, Jevington.
The pond where?
The pond, near that beautiful graveyard. You know, the one with the Norman church.
And all those cold stones. Yes, I remember. Okay, I'll see you there in an hour.
Police. Thank God. You fellas are never supposed to be around when you're needed.
Having a spot of trouble, sir?
Yeah. I got a flat tire there. I just made a telephone call, came back, tire was flat, and there's no spare in there.
Your car, sir?
No, it's a rental.
Well, that's where the spare should be, sir.
Yeah, but it's not there.
Listen, Super Spy, I wouldn't tell Myerson about this if I were you. Oh, by the way, did he get your passport?
Where are you from in America, sir?
Flagstaff, Arizona. Hey, is there a place around here I can rent a car? I gotta get to Eastbourne.
Well, it might be a bit difficult at this time of the morning, sir. Why don't you come back to the station with us and wait for one of the garages to open?
We'll make you a nice cup of coffee.
We'll be at the Lambeth heliport in 15 or 20 minutes. Right. He doesn't take off before daylight, we might just catch him.
What time is daylight?
About 7 o'clock, 6:15 now.
Is the cab waiting for us downstairs?
Yes, sir.
Now, I want to know...
I owe him one. This is the quid pro quo, right?
I'm in a little bit of a hurry, sir. Is there any chance of getting an all-night taxi service from Brighton or Seaford or one of those places?
Here, Sarge. Do you know Tony Cosgrove used to run some sort of taxi service?
Yeah. He's still alive.
Yeah, he's still alive, all right. Give him a go, Harry. We'll have your way in no time, sir.
Thanks very much. Sure appreciate it.
Now, let's see. Tony Cosgrove.
This time we'll get there before him. They'll never expect us to get a counter up. You could be right. You bet your fucking ass I'm right.
But it's straight along the A20. So how long do you think you'll be?
Oh, about half an hour.
It'll be about 30 minutes, sir.
Excuse me, sir, but what did you say your name was?
Burton. Henry Burton.
Oh, yes, that's right. Thank you, sir. I wonder if you could show me some means of identification.
Sure. You want a passport, driver's license?
Either, sir.
Thank you.
You do rather look a bit like this chap, sir. I'm sure it's got nothing to do with you. Just a coincidence, eh? Now, we've had a bulletin, you see. An American that you rather resemble is wanted for questioning.
Well, I guess I look like everybody and his brother. What is this fellow wanted for?
No, nothing in particular. Just some people would like to ask him a few questions.
What the hell is going on here? Right, let's get me on. Okay, well, I've got a torch in here.
When did you join the police force?
It's the only car I could find that had any gas in it.
Good thinking.
Listen, no matter what happens, you stay put right here. I'll be back within an hour, okay?
Okay. And if you're not back within the hour, I'll wait for another hour and another and another and...
Jesus! Wow! I guess that takes care of Mr. Kendig.
That takes care of him, all right. Son of a bitch is down there in that undertow in 47 pieces. Son of a bitch is dead, finally. Son of a bitch better stay dead. Richie, I shall miss him.
Everything go okay?
Fine.
Good. South of France for 2 weeks?
Sounds okay.
Good.
I hope this book is half as exciting as they say it is.
Oh, it is. 14 weeks, #1 on the bestseller list.
Oh, how marvelous. They say he was murdered by his own men, the CIA. Do you think there's any truth in that?
There are those who say he's still alive, living in Australia.
Oh, really? Oh, is that a fact?
This is indefensible. You must stop these ridiculous charades. The agency thinks you are dead. No one, with the possible exception of me, gives a damn about you. If you do not stop these absurd disguises, I will personally rip that beard from your chin and scream fire at the top of my voice.
Okay, you made your point.
Good. How'd you like to play some gin this evening?
For how much?
Will you never learn?